I've got the Redmi K100 Pro Max in my hands, and this phone is launching more than 2 months earlier than expected. Its performance has now been unlocked ahead of the official release, and the big question is simple. After more than a year of refining the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen5, how much better has Redmi made it? Big thanks to my tech partner over in China for providing this footage. I really appreciate the support in making this video happen. Hey everyone, Stella here from techiestreet. If you're into staying updated with the newest gadgets, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our latest tech content. So instead of running a quick benchmark, I pushed it through extended gaming tests, and honestly, some results were surprising. Let's start with CrossFire. The Redmi K100 Pro Max supports up to 185 FPS at very high graphics settings. I played for over an hour in 5 versus 5 quiet mode, with the room at around 26–27 degrees Celsius. The average frame rate was an incredible 184.6 FPS, meaning the phone maintained almost perfect full frame rate performance. But the real surprise was the 1% low, 176.3 FPS. That's extremely strong. Even during ultra-high frame rate gaming, performance stayed remarkably stable and smooth. For FPS gamers, this matters. It's not just about hitting a high peak FPS. The K100 Pro Max also keeps its low frame rate performance high, making gameplay consistently smooth. And here's another impressive result. After more than an hour, the front reached just 42.8 degrees Celsius, while the back peaked at 40.5 degrees Celsius. Normally, I'd charge the phone and move to another game, but not this time. I immediately switched to PUBG Mobile and enabled its highest officially supported 165 FPS mode. After another hour, the average was 164.7 FPS, almost the full 165 FPS. Since the restart wasn't done in high frame rate mode and had to be excluded, the continuous gaming session had already crossed 2 hours. Even the 1% low remained impressive at 151.7 FPS. Average power consumption was 4.51 watts, while the maximum back temperature reached 43.1 degrees Celsius. But we weren't finished. Thanks to its dedicated graphics chip, PUBG Mobile can reach 185 FPS through frame interpolation, even though 185 FPS isn't officially supported. So I tested another hour in interpolation mode. By now, continuous testing had passed 3 hours, yet the average frame rate still hit 184.5 FPS, with the 1% low staying at 123 FPS. And here comes another surprise. Average power consumption dropped to just 4.23 watts. That's actually lower than the 165 FPS mode. The reason is double frame interpolation technology, which delivers an ultra-high 185 FPS experience while using less power. This shows how much the dedicated graphics chip's second frame interpolation capability helps improve both frame rate and efficiency. Even after more than 3 hours, the highest temperature reached only 45.2 degrees Celsius, while the back peaked at 42 degrees Celsius. So after this 3-hour gaming marathon, there are some clear takeaways. First, maintaining full frame rates during extended ultra-high FPS gaming is clearly not a problem for the K100 Pro Max. Second, the dedicated graphics chip's second frame interpolation can increase frame rates while reducing power. For FPS gamers, that 185 FPS experience is a major upgrade, and Redmi's 185 FPS ecosystem isn't limited to games that natively support 185 FPS. Many other titles can reach 185 FPS through the dedicated graphics chip's interpolation technology. So if FPS gaming is your thing, this is definitely worth trying. Third, temperature control is impressive. Throughout the entire test, temperatures stayed below 45 degrees Celsius, despite the extreme frame rates and long sessions. But ultra-high FPS isn't everything. Touch response also matters. The Redmi K100 Pro Max supports a 480 Hz real-time touch sampling rate and a 4800 Hz sequential touch sampling rate. Together, they're designed to make controls faster, more responsive, and more precise. So let's see how it performs when using 8x zoom. Next is audio. The K100 Pro Max features Boss game sound effects that can significantly reduce background noise during PUBG. It also offers game-specific color reproduction, making enemies easier to spot. Clearly, Redmi has focused on the complete gaming experience, not just raw performance. Of course, some people may still say the phone doesn't have enough load capacity, so I tested it again in 185 FPS interpolation mode. This time, I used a full-scale battlefield launched from a triangle with 48 players active simultaneously. The load was much higher. Yet the K100 Pro Max still averaged 185.1 FPS, essentially perfect full frame rate performance. Power consumption reached 5.57 watts, while the 1% frame rate performance remained respectable. After another hour, the front temperature reached 45.6 degrees Celsius, while the back peaked at 43.7 degrees Celsius.
It's important to remember that all of this comes from the dedicated graphics chip's second stage double frame interpolation. If those frames were rendered natively, power consumption would be much higher, so here interpolation actually improves the gaming experience. Higher FPS, lower power, and better temperature control. But the next test was even tougher. The golden moment test pushed the phone much harder. After 40 minutes, average power consumption reached 5.85 watts. The rendering resolution stayed above 972p, while the average frame rate hit 59.7 FPS, almost a perfect 60 FPS. The 1% low was 42.93 FPS. For a passively cooled phone, that's an excellent result. The front peaked at 45.6 degrees Celsius, while the back reached 4.5 degrees. Compared with other phones I've tested, the K100 Pro Max uses less power while delivering near full frame rate. Its temperature control is also impressive. So for a passively cooled phone, performance is clearly one of its biggest strengths. But what happens if we push it even harder? Earlier, while testing fan-cooled phones, I found an especially demanding section in golden moment, so I continued for another 30 minutes, bringing the total test time to 70 minutes. This time, average power consumption jumped to 7.4 watts. For passive cooling, sustained power above 7 watts is serious, and yet the K100 Pro Max still maintained an average of 59.6 FPS. The 1% low dropped slightly, but the average remained firmly in the top tier. Even under this extreme load, the body peaked at only 46.7 degrees Celsius, while the back reached 46.5 degrees. I've tested phones consuming more than 7 watts, and compared directly, the K100 Pro Max delivers better frame rate and temperature performance. So what can we conclude? First, Redmi's performance scheduling is clearly aggressive, otherwise it couldn't sustain over 7 watts while maintaining such stable FPS. Second, that strategy works because of its powerful heatsink and intelligently designed cooling layout. Together, they balance performance and temperature surprisingly well. Third, Redmi has clearly become much better at tuning the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen5, and my Genshin Impact test gives us even more evidence. During the 70-minute and 40-minute virtual audio recording tests, optimization was noticeably improved. The average frame rate stayed at 60 FPS, while rendering resolution remained at 883p, the highest available level. And the surprising part, average power consumption was only 3.77 watts. Compared with my previous Snapdragon device tests, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen5 usually sits towards the lower end in efficiency. This time, Redmi's optimization has taken its gaming performance to another level. You could say it's comparable to the Pro Max, but with the more powerful Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen5, Redmi seems confident enough to launch the phone earlier. So, looking at the complete gaming experience, the K100 Pro Max really does deliver Pro Max level performance.
Whether a game natively supports 185 FPS or reaches 185 FPS through frame interpolation, the phone can handle long gaming sessions without much trouble. And when you add Redmi's optimization for touch response, latency, sound effects and display quality, FPS gamers get a seriously complete package. If FPS gaming is your thing, this phone is definitely worth trying. Even under extreme workloads, with power consumption reaching 7.4 watts and relying entirely on passive cooling, the K100 Pro Max stayed close to 60 FPS while keeping temperatures below 48 degrees Celsius. That's seriously impressive. It also shows how much Redmi have improved its cooling system. The redesigned cooling layout helps dissipate heat more effectively, while Redmi's experience with heavy gaming and chip optimization clearly makes a difference. But there are still plenty of other interesting things about the K100 Pro Max that we haven't covered. We'll take a much closer look at those in the next part. That's all for this episode. If you made it this far, hit the like button, drop a comment and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.